Got 7 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, I have 6 o'clock. I was worried for a minute there. I was going to say 7 o'clock. The first order of business tonight, the November the 5th meeting, is the Pledge of Allegiance. Vice Mayor McRae.
Please join me in reciting the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Next item is the approval of the October the 1st Town Council minutes. I'll entertain a motion, if everybody's had a chance to go over them, to approve those minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes.
Okay. Second. All in favor? Okay. The next is the adoption of tonight. Oh, let me have that. I'm sorry. Is the adoption of the November the 5th Town Council agenda. I have one change I'd like for the board to make. I'd like to move something on the agenda. I would like to move the announcements up before we have to go into a closed session tonight for some economic development Never mind. We've got a closed session for discussion on economic development incentives. So if I would, I'd like to call for a motion to move those announcements up before we go into a closed session.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. Any other changes to the agenda for tonight? Madam Manager, I think that was the only one that I have tonight. Change? Okay. We have a public hearing at 6:05 for the proposed economic development agreement for the Project Warrior, and I'm coming back to, we'll come to the public section next. Councilor, do you have something on that?
I do, Mr. Mayor, and again, it's second verse, same as the first. We are being asked again to delay your consideration of that matter. We, as you said, will have opportunity to discuss that in closed session. I'll give you some further detail about it. But for now, as we did last time, my suggestion would be to open the public hearing scheduled again for the December meeting, and I would again advertise it just to be as completely transparent and above board as possible about the discussion you'll have theoretically in December.
All right, so any questions of Councilor? Yes, ma'am.
So if I'm trying to decide if we continue it over till December, if we come out of closed session and we make the decision not to carry it over, can that be?
You could do that, and you could just
Okay.
take, you could take no action on this right now and hold it until after closed session and then come out and decide how to proceed.
If we do take any action and the media has left, we'll get in touch with you, if there is any action taken.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain that motion to delay the public hearing.
Was anybody here to speak on it?
Haven't had anybody sign up? Nope.
There's some folks here for it. They understand that it's going to be continued, so.
I mean, can we give the public an update? I mean, people may be here for that.
The best update that I can give you is that there's some more information. You know, for instance, as is in the notice, it is about a grant of a piece of property as an economic incentive for this particular business, and we're required to be upfront about where it is and roughly what size it is. But you all, and you're absolutely right, have said we've got to see a meets and bounds, a plat. We don't have that yet. That's been delayed. We also are in the midst of looking at the application. That's part of what the town has to do to be the sort of sponsor of this grant. So those things have not happened yet, and they're again the reason why we need to ask to delay it again.
Are we the ones holding it up?
No.
Because I know it was a big hurry to try to get the ball rolling.
And yes, that was my perception of it as well. We are not the ones that are responsible for the information you all need to get, and so no, it's not been a delay on our part.
No, the ball's still in their court, and unfortunately, they've not provided what this board would need to move forward with their meets and bounds survey.
This is the EDC or the entity?
Entity itself.
Okay.
Okay.
In light of how this has, I would like to wait and make the decision after we come out of closed session whether we continue it to December. I don't want anybody leaving thinking it's continued and then maybe we change our mind. That's my feeling about it.
But when we come out, if there's any decision, yeah, we'll let everybody know first thing in the morning if there's any kind of decision.
Right.
So would you like to make that motion?
I'd
We
like
just
to make
delay
the
it?
motion
Okay.
that we just delay continuing that until we come out of our closed session later tonight.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous. Okay. The next item is public comment. We have one person signed up, and the ground rules are, as you know, a 5-minute limit on public comment. So, Mr. Ledford, you're up, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me tonight. My name is Jim Ledford, and I'm here tonight representing Japaka in Fall Palooza 2018. I've recently been instructed by a member of this board that my words and my message would be more accepted if I were to present them in a positive way. So I'd like to first thank all the town employees that helped to make our event a success. Thank you, Chief Adams, for the noise extension, for patrolling the streets, making sure that everything went off good, without a hitch, no complaints. Thank you. We appreciate that. Judging by the attendance of the event and the consistent barrage of spectators stating this is just what Franklin needs, I'm very positive that what we are doing does indeed match up with what the people living in Franklin want their community to look like. I was also directed recently by a different board member that real-life people at a board meeting would help convince the board of these things. And although I have my reservations, please welcome Jay and Tricia Powell. These are our neighbors across the street. As you can tell, they're a little older than I am. They like it so much that when we're done with the festivals, it's too cold, they go home and they listen with their windows open. So they're here tonight to support what we're doing. Sandra Poling, she's a 30-something healthcare professional that's currently looking for a place to live outside of Franklin because of the lack of things to do here. She also spent all weekend at the festival and stated that this is the coolest thing she's done in about, how many years? Since she's been here. Damon Hall's 19. He enjoyed himself there too and can't wait to do another one. We're actually going to Asheville this weekend to watch some music, so we'll be out of town spending money. And I'm also very positive that on October 20th, when the town of Franklin shut down almost an identical portion of Carolina Mountain Drive, that I had previously been denied having shut down to help in the functionality of our event twice, without contacting me as a business owner or a homeowner that was highly affected by these shutdowns. The town shut down 2 major arteries to my home and to my place of business without asking or notifying me first, which I was instructed to do before they would allow me to shut the street down. Right, Mr. Collins? A large portion of our business plan includes piggybacking on established events to capitalize on the crowd already in town, giving them a reason to stay past 4 o'clock and play and spend their time and money. I'm positive that next year, if the town decides to absolutely disregard us and our business when it plans for their Fall Pumpkin Fest event, it will be a mess for everyone involved. And I'm absolutely positive that we have been the bigger people all along and tried to cooperate with the town while they did everything in their power to keep us from succeeding. Along with a growing multitude of supporters, I'm also very positive that Franklin has the potential to be a great place for all people, and that there are already people within the town government, thank you, Summer, that want to help make this happen. And that is absolutely, positively, without a doubt, the leadership in this town that is slowly and painfully attempting to kill it. I'm also more than positive that we all now know the importance of voting and how government works, and that you will see us at the polls again and again. Positively. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ledford. Appreciate that, sir. All right, the next, nobody else has signed up for the public comment session, so we'll move right along. And item A, the board action on the proposed economic development agreement is moot for the moment. Street closing request for Franklin Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Curtis, I think you're here for that, sir.
Yes, I am.
Would you like to tell me why you want to close the street, sir?
It's that time of year again for the Christmas parade, the Sunday after following Thanksgiving, which would be November 25th. I believe Miss Linda Harbuck sent the request
Right.
to you, and manager asked us to come be present as well. So I'll be happy to answer any questions. Do you have that in front of you?
We do have, sir. Does anyone have any questions on closing the street for the Christmas parade?
I wanted to add one thing.
Uh-huh.
I think it's closed for a few minutes before for the ugly holiday sweater dash that I think has been promoted for the past few years. It
Yes, sir.
raises
You
money
ran in it,
cans
if I remember
for
correct.
CareNet.
Yes. Mhm.
I just wanted to piggyback that the street's closed for that event briefly before the parade happens. I think we should all support both events.
Are you going to run in it?
Yes, I'm
Close the street. Okay, well, you won it one year, didn't you?
I won ugly a sweater. I didn't win the
All
race.
right. All right. Any further discussions of Mr. Curtis? If not, I'll call for a motion to close the street for Main Street and the ugly sweater run for the Christmas parade and the ugly sweater run.
I'll make that motion.
All right.
I'll second.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, you got it, sir.
Thank you.
Certainly. The next is the street closing request for the Ruby Drop. I think there's a member from the Crabtree Enterprise who's going to present this, sir. Welcome, sir.
How are you? I'm Samuel. If you don't know me, I'm Timothy's younger brother. I'm here in his absence. He is in Honduras on a mission trip. So he said, hey, go do this. So we're requesting that the street be closed, saying that it has been for a few years now. On December 31st at 5:30 p.m. for the Ruby Drop that we do. And it'll be right there in the middle of the red lights and square like we did last year. And we're requesting for it to be closed at 5:30 until 2 a.m. to allow setup time and tear down time.
Okay.
So, any
You're-
questions that you have for me?
You're still not considering the old folks' request to do it at Greenwich Mean Time, which would put it at 7 o'clock.
If we get enough people, yeah. We
I'm
can
starting
change
to
the
come
time.
around there, Bob.
Would you make the motion for me, Joe? I would appreciate it.
I'll go 9.
Let's take a nap.
You got to have a little compassion on us old people here. So,
I'd rather be home. too.
all right. Any further questions of Mr. Crabtree? Anybody? All right. I'll entertain a motion on that street closing and having the Ruby Drop.
I move that we close the street for the Ruby Drop.
And there's a second. Okay. All in favor? All right. You
And
got it,
expect
sir.
good weather this year.
Absolutely.
Thank you for doing this. That's an excellent event.
It really
Thank you.
is. All right. Madam Manager, we have a public hearing for the rezoning petition for Hendon Properties. Mr. Setzer, you're up, sir.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. Here tonight, Planning Board met back on October the 15th to discuss the rezoning that was counciled forward to them back in early October. And Planning Board met and discussed this potential rezone for Hendon Properties, which is owned by Duke Property off of Silo Road. They did recommend council to rezone this, and we're simply here tonight to ask for a public hearing in the December meeting, which would get into further detail then.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of Mr. Setzer? If not, we'll entertain the motion to go ahead and set that public hearing.
I move we set the public hearing for the rezoning petition for Hendon Properties at 6:05, the Monday of our December meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right. The reappointment of Mr. Andrew Raby to the Town Planning Board. Mr. Setzer, you have that item also, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Raby, his term is up for, has expired on the town plan board and board of adjustment. Everybody that's on planning board also does dual role of both. He is requested to be reappointed to a 3-year term, which is our normal 3 years unless they request shorter, and which would be 3 years from tonight, so that'd be November 5th of 2021.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Setzer? I'll entertain a motion then to reappoint Mr. Raby to the Town Planning Board.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made, second. All in favor?
Aye.
The next item is the reappointment of Tom Harris to the Town Planning Board. Mr. Setzer?
Same thing as Mr. Raby. Mr. Harris would like to be reappointed. He currently serves as the chairman, has for about 3 years now, and it would be the same 3-year term starting from tonight to 2021.
All right.
I move that we reappoint Tom Harris.
I second it.
Second. All right. Any further discussion? Yes, sir.
I was voting yes.
Oh, okay. So there's one vote for so far. Okay, all in favor. All right.
Please tell him how much we appreciate his service.
Absolutely. Serving on both those boards.
Both of them. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Discussion on Town of Franklin travel policy. Madam Manager, will you present that? And
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Council. What you have before you tonight is myself and Mr. Talent have been looking at your travel policy. You'll see a proposed draft of the one we're proposing before you tonight. The two biggest items to point out what's different than our current policy is under 10, reimbursement of cost will be as follows. It'd be section B. One thing that the state has kind of looked at and encouraged local municipalities to look at as well is for business travel trips that utilize personal vehicles and exceed 100 miles per trip, the employee shall be reimbursed at a rate of 33 cents per miles as recommended by the NC Office of State Budget Management. The second part that we would like to propose for the board to look at is on your following page, again under number 10D. Currently, your meals for breakfast is reimbursed at $6, lunch is $12, and dinner was $17. The last time this was looked at was in 2010, so we're looking at the current state requirement. It basically each meal went up $1, which one thing I will need to correct in the proposal. It says $38.30. It would be a flat $38 that they'd be reimbursed. So that's what we're asking the board to consider tonight.
okay, anybody have any questions about it? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adopt as presented on the
I'll
change. All right,
Second it.
all right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, Madam Manager.
Thanks.
Okay. The next is a discussion on the letter of support for the town of Highlands truck route restrictions. Basically what Highlands is asking, and I'll kind of make a synopsis of this, is more things on the entrance, both going down and going up on the Highlands Road that would stop truck traffic. It would be lights, it would be signage, it would be all kind of things. Also, Highlands is going to all of the Garmin, Magellan, all these people that put out these GPSs and getting them to put on there that this route is not acceptable for tractor trailer, certain size trucks. The other day I had to go to Highlands and I was running late, and then I saw that I had to go up Buck Creek because a truck had gotten hung up on the rock. And this is a fantastic aerial photo that I think spells out exactly what their problem is. And this is not new. This has been going on for at least 30 years. With signs and then turnarounds and everything under the sun. So what I'm basically asking the board after you see this video, if you would just let us write a letter that we concur with Highlands on this matter, because in the mornings particularly, I'd say 50 to 60% of the workforce in Highlands goes from Franklin up that road. And then at 5 o'clock it's bumper to bumper coming back down. And if you get behind a tractor trailer truck that's hung up on a rock, you got sometimes you can't even turn around. You have to just sit there. Can you start the video for us? Even got music with it. There he comes.
This guy's a good driver.
We ain't hit anything yet, so.
It's going pretty fast, too.
John Carpenter's The Gorge.
Now he's in the other lane. Now he's back in his lane.
You can't drive through a regular car and stay in your lane.
I can.
That's a semi.
You can?
I'm not the big hazard straight from the curb.
At nighttime, we used to take the curve out.
Well, here we go. The results of a misspent youth on both of them.
That's kind of the rebel force over there. I don't even think that's a 53-foot trailer either. I think that's a...
It doesn't look it, does it? But that's a fantastic video. I mean, that just really portrays it. So would there be any objection, or could I get a motion that we just concur in Highland, since they've already done the research and all, that we just agree with it as the town council?
Can we add that we advise DOT of this letter? I mean,
Well, this is going to DOT.
Okay, because the DOT,
Yeah.
I mean, we can jump up and down, but we can't do anything about it, but the DOT can.
Years ago, the highway patrol and everybody got together, the county commissioners, the town. It was probably 30 years ago, so this is nothing new. It's been going on.
Well, they
so.
just spent several $100,000 on the turnaround on the Highlands Road.
Yeah, it's gonna last a while.
That's right. Mr. Collins, would you like to make the motion that we can concur with Highlands on this?
Be glad to.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, we have a motion. Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. We'll get it out and we'll send you, just letting you know what we're going to say. It's just basically concurring with what's already been written.
I think the drivers would be happy if they could advise not to go on that road by their
I
GPS.
can't believe there's repeat business of those guys. I mean, once would be enough for me.
Well, what I've been told is that the dispatchers look at a map, and it is a very short route to a lot of places, but the map doesn't show the problems that they've got. And the GPS, I know, that lady in my GPS, she put me in a graveyard one night, literally. So we all depend on them now. We don't even have maps anymore. We used to get maps at the service, but I'm dating myself. Okay, so it looks like we got, everybody was okay with that? Okay. Discussion on the Blue Zones project. This is a thing about healthy living and what have you, but I really would like to hold this off until the December meeting, because there's still some things I want to get clarified for the board before we just vote on it. So, everybody okay with that? Okay. All right, discussion on the Alcohol Beverage Control Board. Mr. Culpepper.
I'm just excited. I think this will be the first time the board gets to choose a member of the board. I know I've talked about it before. I don't exactly understand which boards have to have openings, advertised openings, which boards automatically reappoint. I know we did seat a person on the ABC board, or the ABC board recommended in January, but I guess we're going to reseat again somebody. I just wanted to have a discussion about boards and openings and find out how this process is going. So I think this is the first time we've had an open advertisement for somebody since I've been on the board.
If I may, Mr. Mayor.
Yes,
Council,
please.
You're correct. So since there was a request for the one member who wanted to resign from the board, therefore it created a vacancy. So we've been advertising in the local news media and of course on our website for the opening of a vacancy to fill an unexpired term. And with that, the application process closed on October 29th. And from that has generated 2 candidates, which then I'll get with Mr. Mason and send that paperwork to them. But we do currently, you'll have 2 candidates going before your ABC board.
In the we just approved some appointments to the planning board and the board of adjustment. Those expired terms do not get advertised. If they want to be reappointed on the board, they're automatically reappointed to the board.
Correct, just because right now they're not considered and it goes back to the discussion that we've had for 6 months about what's a vacancy, what's not a vacancy.
Okay.
I think they generally express their willingness to their own board to be recommended to the council again, to be reappointed, for another term. And it is, as I've urged you to think of it as, for most of them, it is just it's a pretty thankless service that if they're willing to render it again, I would urge you not to get in the business of questioning that too much.
I thank them immensely. I worry that people that want to get involved feel somewhat held out of being involved in town. But it gets mentioned to me at least once a week. Hey, I'd like to get involved in the town. How can I do it? And I don't really know what to tell people. I know a couple of people that are waiting for positions to open on boards. So I kind of just wanted to see how this goes. And I think the ABC board's only 3 people. We had some discussion about changing it to 5. I don't know if we want to do that or not. But I think it behooves us that if people want to be involved in our town, we should allow them to be involved and have open doors. If we have an influx of people wanting to get involved, we should form another committee that allows them to be involved. But more to the ABC board, are we going to hear who the applicants are? Are we going to throw it back to the 2 people who are on the board to recommend one of the 2 applicants?
That will.
Typically, Mr. Collins, go ahead. I think you may have a question.
No, I'm just, it's public knowledge who's applied, and I think they're both very, very qualified people, very happy to see folks of their caliber make an application. Is there any, council, is there any real restrictions if the board wanted to consider expanding the board from 3 to 5? Is that something that's in our purview?
There is some really direct language on this in statute that I looked at, thinking that might come up. So in the statute about appointment and organization of local ABC boards, it says if a board is initially a 3-member board and the appointing authority determines a 5-member board is preferable, the terms of the 2 new members shall be for 3 years. So that to me says it's pretty much at the whim of the appointing authority. To go back from 5 to 3 takes significant state action. You have to get the commission to agree to that.
And so would it be a possibility that the board, not to take any action on it tonight, I don't think anything is critical, but to possibly hold the 2 applicants in abeyance, and if the board decided to go to a 5-person board, then there's 2 applicants already, and we would reopen the applicant process to presumably get additional 1 or more, which could then fill out 5. I know David has always spoke about going from 3 to 5, and he's given a lot of the psychological basis for it, and it's a very important part of the town, so to speak. And I would like for the board as well, David brought it up, but to discuss and see whether they believe it's the merits or pro and con about expanding from 3 to 5.
Yes, Ms. McCray.
Could I ask, are they functioning now with 2 members, or
Just Todd, has Mr. Swank resigned, or
Yes, sir.
so it would just be 2 members?
well, that's one advantage to having a 5-member board. At least
Yeah.
you wouldn't get in the situation where you just have to.
Sorry to interrupt. Is there a downside to a 5-person versus 3-person?
Well, let me ask you, reverse that, is there an upside to it?
That's what I wonder.
More
I mean,
public involvement.
The-
We have a 6-member board up here and a mayor. More ideas, maybe?
Well, just for statistical purposes, there are only 2 ABC boards west of Asheville that have 5 people. The others are all 3. One's Cashers, and I think the other one is it's either Haywood or Buncombe County. But it's, in my experience, it seems like sometimes when you have the fewer people, it seems like you can get more done. And then on the other hand, it's your point that you're making that you have more inclusiveness. So I would be willing, if it's the will of the board, to bring this up for discussion at the December meeting in some further depth, and let's do a little study about it. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I'm always.
Let's study it and see. There's a lot of statistics out there with the state ABC board. They can tell you to the bottle what's going on, and it's amazing. So if that's all right with y'all, let's just hold it. And let's put it on the agenda for December.
It's fine with me. It just, I think if we have the ability to get more people involved in municipal government, I think we ought to take that chance. But we can discuss it at the next meeting. That's fine.
I think sometimes we have the opposite.
Government's supposed to be slow and methodical and get input from different directions.
You're true. That's in practice. That's right. That's right.
So can I clarify something for
Absolutely.
for town staff and the ABC board as it is now to know? Do you desire to entertain a recommendation at your December meeting if it's to have one recommended, or you just want to hold it?
I think it would be appropriate to decide whether we're going to go from
That's fine. Gotcha.
Okay.
stay at
So they don't
three or
need
go
to bring you a
5.
recommendation for
Right.
December. It's
Just hold it, December. Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. And what we're going to do, I'm going to make these announcements. Anybody else around the board got anything you want to go before I go into these announcements, upcoming events? Okay. We'll be holding the Veterans Day and ceremony on Monday, November the 12th. It'll begin, as it always does, with the parade at 10:30. The high school band has committed. We have a speaker lined up. We're all ready to go, and it has turned into being one of our pretty major events up there. We turn out a lot of people for Veterans Day. This town's really supportive of that. So that's underway. Town hall offices will be closed Monday, November the 12th, in observance of Veterans Day. Our offices will be closed Thursday, November the 22nd, and Friday, November the 23rd for Thanksgiving. And Winter Wonderland will be Saturday, November the 24th, and Saturday, December the 1st, from 5 to 8 p.m. And I need to make a disclosure that this Friday I am going, not representing the town, but individually, but I think y'all should know it, that I am going with a small group of people from Macon County to meet with the Attorney General over the hospital sale. There's some issues that have come up with the hospital sale, and one of the things that people are looking at is asking HCA to maintain and not cut back services, at least for a certain time period. I want y'all to know that up front, that I'm going, not as mayor, I'm going at my own expense, and I don't know what will be resolved, but the Attorney General has been gracious enough to give us an audience Friday. And if anybody wants to go with me, we're going down and back in the same day. So, with that being
You'll
said,
need some health care when you get back here.
what do you mean, when I get back?
Bob, I have one thing before we
Yes,
go into closed session.
please do. Bring it up.
Is there an update on the bridge lights? The new bridge lighting?
We're continuing to work with NCDOT on that. We're hoping to have those ready for the official unveil of Town Bridge, as strange as that sounds now, in December.
So they should be up by December.
We're hoping so.
And one more thing, we were walking around town, my family and my son, I told him there's gonna be a big walkway under the bridge, and there's not. Did we drop the ball, or can we encourage that walkway to be built connecting the Greenway?
We can certainly continue to petition DOT, but 4 or 5 years ago, when the schematics of that bridge was drawn up, it was DOT's option not to do that. It wasn't the town's at the time, since that's strictly their project. I mean, we can certainly have those discussions with them moving forward, but what the results you have now was by no means actions of the town.
So if we want to encourage a walkway under the bridge, actually making the Greenway connection, we need to go back to the drawing board and
We
talk to
can
DOT?
ask DOT if they
or-
would reconsider it.
get 1,000 people to just
And
walk
county
all
would
at
be
once and make a path.
That's
hurt
a big trail, you never know.
to make a trail.
I agree with you. It's, and I think we need to make it bicycle friendly also, because trying to get a bicycle across 4 lanes of traffic when you're my age is difficult. Getting on a bicycle is difficult.
Well,
But
I
anyhow,
mean, it's beautiful. The walkway. I mean, it's great, and I assumed, which maybe I shouldn't have done, that it was gonna do a little roundy-do and then go under the bridge, under the other bridge, and back up at the Wesley's Park.
yeah, let's discuss that. And David, if you would kind of help pursue on that, please, sir, because I have had that brought up to me a number of times, particularly with the frogs.
Yeah, I kept
Crimson
waiting.
Greenway.
I kept watching and waiting for it to happen, and it kind of never did.
Oh, all they can do is say no, but we'll pursue it. Yes, ma'am.
We just have 2 more things.
Uh-huh.
I know John's got one more legal issue, but I actually wanted to make an announcement. I want to ask our Public Works Director, Nathaniel Moore, about the leaf collection, if you wanted to make that announcement.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it.
Just a quick announcement. One of the things that we're moving forward with this year is very similar to the town residents have a brush pickup we do. What we were wanting to do is to provide the service where you can blow your leaves to the edge of the roadway, and you call in the ticket and we'll come out and remove the leaves out of the road. So just to the edge of the property where we can get our machine to remove the leaves right on the edge of the road. So.
They need to be on the road.
Right,
Yeah.
as close to the
Okay.
edge of the road as they can get there.
Great. Okay, yes, Mr. Culper.
What are we going to do with the leaves?
We have a machine that composts them, and we put them in where the material we street sweep, we put it in pile.
Okay, because leaves I know are very valuable compost. If we had a compost pile where we could in turn give the compost to gardeners or something like that, I don't know if we're set up to do that, but it'd be a neat thing to do.
Yeah, and we'll see how this goes, how much we actually get participate this year, and we might be able to look at that in the coming years. So.
Madam Manager, I just made a major mistake. I skipped over the discussion on the lazy, oh, I did not?
No, he's got you.
Okay. You were gonna,
Ready to jump in there.
thank you, I appreciate it. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Nathaniel.
Thank you, sir.
So, Mr. Mayor, the one other item before we have the closed session is concerning the Old Town Hall property. And those of you who were there at the inception of leasing the Old Town Hall to use as a brewery, if you're like me, you still can't quite believe it all came together and all worked out. I like to tell people about how just about that same time, by happenstance, we wound up being the landlord to a church down there when we got part of that property. So within a month or two, we were a landlord to a brewery and a church. And I still want a sign now that says, "Go this way for sin, go that way for salvation." It would be good. But in all seriousness, the arrangement we've had with Lazy Hiker has turned out just as good as anybody could have hoped, and they are now exercising what was in that lease agreement, an option to purchase the property. We had left some of the details about exactly how that would be carried out, not spelled out. So the purpose of the resolution that I have drafted for you is just to clarify that I'm going to draft documents that are necessary for the town side of the closing. The mayor and town manager and town clerk and myself will all execute the documents as necessary to do that. So that's the purpose of that resolution. And Ken Murphy from Lazy Hiker is here and may want to address you.
Actually, Graham Norris is going to give you comments on that.
And I'm happy to answer any questions about the document, but it's a resolution that just appoints the appropriate authorities here to conclude that sale.
Thank y'all for having us here, and thank y'all for everything y'all have done to help Lazy Hiker be what it is. We're excited to be part of this community, and we've had the support of the town, we've had the support of the community, and we couldn't have dreamt it to be any better than it has been over these first few years. So, as John mentioned, we have given notice of our intent to exercise the option to purchase the property, and we've received and accepted a commitment letter from a local lender and plan to close on that purchase as soon as all the typical customary closings conditions would be met. Obviously, when our co-founders first presented to the board in 2014, they said that they looked forward to putting Franklin on the map for craft beer, and we're proud to say that we've done that beginning in 2015 and here forward. We've enjoyed working with the town, and we continue to look forward to working with y'all closely in the future, although without the tenant-landlord kind of relationship, so we're excited about that. Since we entered that lease agreement with the town, the numbers of breweries in Western North Carolina have more than doubled. But even with that increase in competition, our taproom sales have steadily risen and are significantly higher than the projections that we were able to give y'all in 2014. So clearly people love Lazy Hiker, people love our beer, our brand, and our lifestyle. And we're excited about what the town has to offer us and what we have to offer the town. We think it's been an amazing addition to Franklin, and we're just excited about that. Our beer continues to grow in popularity in the western half of North Carolina. In fact, from the first 3 quarters of 2018, we're up more than 50% in our canned beer sales from 2017 over that same period. So we're really excited about seeing that continued growth, and this purchase of the property is just one step in that direction. We just want to thank everybody in the community for their support. We couldn't do what we do without the support of the town, both on a professional and a personal kind of basis, as well as all the people in our community that want something enjoyable to do and want something to come and just be a part of the music that we have, be a part of the atmosphere that we have, and just a local gathering spot. So we want to continue to see that support, and we're excited to continue to be part of the town here and going forward. And of course, everyone of legal age, we want to make sure as responsibly gets lazy with us from here forward, whether it's our place or theirs. So, any questions?
Thank you, sir. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Mayor, if there's
Yes, sir.
any questions about the resolution, I would just ask the council to pass it as amended.
Okay.
As presented, rather.
All right, I don't need to read it. Is that correct?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll be here till 10 o'clock. All right. Motion to proceed? Second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. All right, I think right now we need to, and as I said, I don't know, we might be in closed session for 15 or 20 minutes. We may be there for an hour or two. I just really cannot tell you how long we'll be up there. So I'll entertain a motion to move into a closed session.
So moved.
Second? All in favor? All right, we'll be in closed session. You're welcome to stay if you would like. You should have
Turned everything off.
Somebody turned the thermostat up to 80 upstairs. I think it was 80. And I thought I was having a hot flash. It was rough. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion to come back into open session. Second? All in favor? Okay, we're back in open session. Counselor, do you want to proceed
Yes,
on
Mr.
anything?
The first order of business would be to entertain a motion to formally close the public hearing that we started in October on the subject of the economic development grant.
Okay, I'll entertain that motion.
I'll make that motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor? All right, that item's taken care of.
It is. Now, we have not rescheduled the public hearing for December. If you take no further action, there won't be one scheduled, but you may want to have some discussion about the town's necessity to have all of the proper documentation in place before you'll make that consideration. That could be a motion to say we won't, I move that we not schedule another public hearing on this subject until all of the documents are in place.
All right, do I hear a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion.
Ms. Mashburn, Second. All in favor? All right, the next items I'll entertain a motion to adjourn
Yes, I do.
tonight's meeting. All in favor? Let's go home.
I guess the appropriate